As we get closer to the 2024 elections, we are starting to see a surge of congressional retirements. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the 2024 congressional elections, because everyone, in the past week or so, we have been seeing stunning retirement after stunning retirement, from the most Republican parts of the country to even some of the most competitive seats of next year that Democrats currently hold. We are seeing retirements left and right on both sides, deep red seats, deep blue seats, purple seats, everywhere. And it's time we talk about it because these retirements could fundamentally change how we see the 2024 elections and who might be the favorite and who might not be the favorite to win both chambers. But first, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Let me be clear about all of this. I am not saying a red wave or a blue wave is magically happening because of retirements. With that being said, however, when you look at who's retiring and which side that they're retiring the most from, it really makes you wonder if we have an easier pathway to the House, at least for the Republicans. Because some of these retirements that Democrats are getting, like, yeah, Republicans are getting some, but they're in, like, deep red seats. And sure, there are some Democrats in deep blue seats retiring. The fact is, you have several very critical seats that Democrats hold on to that they're just retiring. That could absolutely flip next year. But let's get into it. Let's see what's happening in the congressional chaos, because that's what this is. Chaos in the House of Representatives, this time for elections. A surge of lawmakers calling it quits the past 3 weeks is on the verge of putting Congress on pace to have more members retire before the next election than any similar cycle over the past decade, and the implications are huge. You heard that right. We are about to have a record amount of retirements for the past, like, 10 years or so. Which, when you think about what's happened in Congress the past year or so, it doesn't seem that surprising. Congress has done absolutely nothing the past year. I mean, what have they passed? What? I can't think of anything. I'm not talking about CR packages, that doesn't count. I'm talking about real legislation. Well, I can't think of anything. Because guess what? They haven't passed jack shit. And I think people are just sick of the chaos. People are just sick of all the backstabbing, all the pettiness. They're just like, screw this place. I would rather be a state legislator in Texas, which there actually is an example of that, but we'll get to that. In most cases, retirements deprive their party of a proven fundraiser and a vote getter. And several recent retirements are injecting fresh uncertainty in the tight battles for control of each chamber 2024. Over the past 3 weeks, Democrats have lost a 3-time winner in a ruby red West Virginia and a handful of swing district House members who had success in competitive territory. And this is why I'm making this video. Republicans are losing some retirements, sure, but they're in, like, Utah's 3rd or whatever. They're like deep red seats. They're not flipping. Democrats, they lost Joe Manchin in West Virginia. You know, the only Democrat that had a remote chance of winning in that state. Well, that's an automatic flip for the GOP now. And unlike the GOP, Democrats have several retirements in key House elections. We're not talking about, you know, D plus 15 that a Mike Garcia type can win. We're talking about Biden +2, Biden +5. Not super Democrat, but Democrat leaning. And that could absolutely flip with the right candidate. This month alone, 9 members of the House and Senate have said they won't run for re-election next year. That's the second most in any single month, going back at least as far as 2011. And there's still 2 weeks left in November. A total of 34 members of Congress have already announced they're not running again, and that doesn't count those who plan to quit early or have already resigned. Which, it tends to happen, you know, around the holidays. A lot of people just retire during these times because, you know, I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's like they're around family and realize, you know what, screw Congress, I want to spend more time with the family, go away. But also there's some deadlines for ballot access and to start campaigning and stuff. So I guess that there's several reasons why people would start to retire in the holidays. But we are seeing an unusual amount, especially in competitive seats. I mean, you don't see people like Dan Kildee and Abigail Spanberger just retire like they did. And according to Bill Huizenga, there are many more retirements to come. But, yeah, there's Republican representatives even saying, this is not it. Trust me, there's a lot more. And I don't think this includes people like Mitt Romney, who retired back in, I think, September, or whatever it was. So that's why it's like, how many people are going to quit? If it's like 50, 60 representatives, like 10 senators, it's like, holy crap, next year's going to be absolutely chaotic. People are talking about it more openly than they have ever talked about it before, he said. They like wondering, is this really worth my time and effort? I don't think so, but sure, run for 2 more years and do nothing. Go ahead. That's essentially what Congress is now. Running for 2 years just to get a title, and that's it. Don't do anything, just sit there. For members who are on the fence about running again, there's a lot of uncertainty about this political environment and which party is more likely to hold majorities in the new Congress. Former President Trump leads Biden in the polling, though Democrats have had more electoral success since the end of abortion rights. Which, when it comes to Trump, that's not going to matter because he's basically neutralized the issue of abortion. We have several polls to prove that when you pull the issue of abortion, other Republicans lose by 30. Trump, despite being the president that got rid of Roe versus Wade, he's only down by like 10 points against Biden. That's not that much on the issue of abortion. It really isn't. Members retire for other reasons too. Age, other jobs, and their perceived political prospects. Which is true. I mean, you do see people in... It's just an example, like, if you're in a deep red seat, and it's going to be a red wave, you're probably going to retire if you're a Democrat. It's just an example. It's not going to happen next year, but you're probably going to leave knowing, yeah, I had no shot of winning. Sometimes they're a reflection of combative internal politics and a toxic work environment. And this is what the biggest issue is. The chaos we have seen in Congress the past 2 to 3 months, really a year, have pissed off so many people that they're done. They're like, we can't do anything. This Congress doesn't work. We're not running again. Screw these people. And it all started when Republicans booted Kevin McCarthy, which is well-deserved. And got a way better replacement after a 3-week slap fight in Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, for crying out loud, has already released the January 6 tapes. Far better than what McCarthy did. He did nothing. This place right now, I think it's childish. I mean, this isn't a place where you attract the cream of the crop, said Congressman Garrett Graves. Well, maybe if Congress actually worked and did something instead of screw the American people over, maybe people would be more interested. And that's just a fact. A lot of people just hate Congress because they either don't do anything, like they've done for the past year, or they screw Americans over. They pass some crap legislation that benefits some other country but screws America over. Retirements don't just reflect the political environment, they influence it. Retirements can be damaging to the retiree's party by removing the power of incumbency, including name ID and fundraising experience, from the ballot. And that's the big issue for Dems here. Because, guess what? Open seats that had incumbents that retired, guess what? They flip a lot. Hell, from 2014 to 2020, 34% of the seats that changed parties were in cases where the incumbent left office. Yeah. Over a third, just from open seats, they flipped because the incumbent left. And that's where Democrats may have a big problem. In the Senate, Democrats face a daunting map, needing to re-elect incumbents in red and swing states to keep control of the chamber. And even then, they'll likely need Biden to win the White House to break a 50-50 tie. In the House, Republicans' narrow majority is vulnerable, not quite as dire as Democrats' chances in the upper chamber, but possible mid-decade redistricting in New York could make it even tougher for the GOP to maintain control, which we don't know how that's going to go yet. And some of the retirement announcements this month have been particularly consequential. And these are the big three. Senator Joe Manchin's decision not to seek another term in West Virginia almost certainly dooms Dems' chances of retaining his seat, putting Republicans on the doorstep of claiming the majority. Because at that point, that's an automatic flip. You're at 50-50. No, Florida's not flipping. Missouri's not flipping either, guys. It's 50-50 right off the bat. Democrats are in trouble in the Senate. But not only that, they may be in trouble in the House. Because look at this. Similarly, Democrats could struggle to hold competitive House seats being vacated by Representatives Dan Kildee of Michigan, whose district was essentially split between Biden and Trump in the 2020 election, and Abigail Spanberger of Virginia, who is running for governor in 2025. Yeah. Kildee's seat in particular, it's Republican trending. Heavy Republican trending. Not by 1 point. It shifted like 6-7 points from 2012 to 2016 or something crazy. And that's the problem. Kildee's the only one that could have won that seat by as much as he did. Democrats could still win it, yeah. But it's a deep Republican trending seat that Kildee only won by as much because of his last name. Look up Dan Kildee's uncle, I believe. He's the reason Kildee's able to win that seat by as much as he did. Even though Kildee is basically a far-left progressive in a battleground seat, he was able to grift off his last name. We just keep looking at, though, folks, the retirements of the GOP, there's just Bill Johnson, which, that's a deep red seat in Ohio. John Curtis. Those seats are not flipping. So, that's why Democrats are starting to panic a little bit, because Republicans are keeping their competitive seats in line, except Santos, but which was probably going to flip either way. But Democrats are losing seats that Republicans can absolutely win in Michigan and Virginia. But we just got to see what happens. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.